Welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be giving tips for a successful IVF. We all know IVF is not 100% successful, but there are certain things that you can do to increase your chances for a successful IVF. Sit back and relax. If you're new to this channel, I am Dr. Amarachi Ijeoma. I am a fertility physician and I talk about all things and everything fertility and women's health. So if you want more content like this, subscribe to my channel, and by subscribing to my channel, you're letting more people get aware of this information. First, what is IVF? IVF simply means taking the egg from a woman, taking the sperm from a man, fertilizing it outside of the body, and then transferring the embryo back into the woman. It sounds so easy, but it is not 100% successful. If you want to know everything about IVF, I've done a previous video on that. You can click the link up here to watch it. So you're ready for IVF. Your doctor has referred you for IVF. Now you're financially ready, emotionally ready. You have the time to focus on the process of IVF. The first thing you do is you visit an IVF center, right? No. The first thing you do is to research on the clinic. Don't just go online and then click on the first IVF center that you see. You should read up on these centers, check for their social media handles, check for their YouTube channels. Ask people, find out people that have done IVF in these centers. Ask about the clinic. Ask about the doctors working in the clinic. Do the doctors take their time to explain the process to you? Remember, it is individualized. Couple A might have different counseling from couple B. How do they explain this to you? Do they break it down? Do you actually understand it? Find out if the clinic actually takes their time to individualize treatment, if they explain treatment well to the patient, if they carry the patients along. For example, during the serial ultrasound scans, they are telling you how many follicles you have. They are telling you during the retrieval, they tell you how many eggs they got. They follow you up over the phone or via mail and tell you, oh, these are the amount of eggs that fertilized, these are the amount of eggs that cleaved. On the day of embryo transfer, they tell you, okay, these are your embryos. Some will even go as far as showing you on a board, on a screen, your embryos. Then they even tell you, oh, okay, these are the best. Choose, but you can pick how many you want us to transfer. These things are very important because when you're carrying a patient along, the patient feels really relaxed. So you do your research basically on the clinic. So if you're looking to have a successful IVF, another thing you should consider is to quit smoking. If you're a smoker, you have to consider quitting, because studies have shown that smoking can affect the DNA of both eggs and sperm, and it can potentially also cause miscarriages. Besides the fact that studies have shown that it also prevents implantation. You have to avoid alcohol as well. So many studies have shown that alcohol affects fertility. Then, if you have the money, you can also ask your doctor for pre-genetic screening. This is a process where after you have the embryo, they take a part of that embryo and test it to check for abnormal number of chromosomes. This way, they can only transfer embryos with 23 chromosomes into the woman. This increases the chances of implantation and reduces the risk of miscarriage in first trimester. Prenatal vitamins also help, and if you're wondering what prenatal vitamins are good, just get the ones that have fish oil or folic acid especially. Oh yes, folic acid, and it should have at least 400 micrograms of folic acid in it. Prenatal vitamins are important. That's why you see doctors telling women that are trying to conceive to take prenatal vitamins daily. This is because prenatal vitamins contain a lot of vitamins and minerals that are necessary to improve your fertility. Studies have also shown that some contents of the prenatal vitamins increase chances of IVF success rates. Prenatal vitamins that contain vitamin D has been shown to improve fertility. This is because vitamin D deficiency has been associated with infertility. So by the time you take the ones that have prenatal vitamins, that have vitamin D supplements, then it can help to improve your fertility, and it has also been shown that it improves IVF success rates. Contents like folic acid, very important, so check on the bottle that there's at least 400 micrograms of folic acid in the prenatal vitamins, because it will help to increase your chances of pregnancy, and also it prevents abnormality in the fetus like neural tube defects. Exercise plays a major role in improving the general health of human beings, and also it improves fertility as well. Diet is very important. I mean, I can't say this enough, because whatever food you put in your body that is good for your general health is good for your ovaries and your uterus. And so many studies have shown that when you eat fruits and vegetables, I have a whole video on the type of diet to improve fertility, so you can click on the link above here. So you have to eat more fruits, more vegetables, whole grains. Seafood is actually also good, but you can have that like 2 to 3 times in a week. Whole grains like wheat, corn, rice, also eggs, cheese, yogurt. If you're going to be using oil to cook your food and fry your food, then consider using extra virgin olive oil. So some of these foods have been studied, and it's shown that they improve fertility. Avoid red meats. If you are a known diabetic, that is, you have diabetes, make sure that your blood sugar is controlled, because diabetes plays a major role in infertility as well. It affects egg quality, it affects implantation. If you have a family history of diabetes, be sure to check your blood sugar regularly as well. Once you're doing an IVF process, you have to be stress-free. I can't even stress this enough. You have to be stress-free. What is the condition of the inner part of the womb? You know, that's where the baby is going to lie eventually. So we want to know the condition of the inner part of the womb. And we can do this via 3 methods. 1, saline infusion sonogram. That is to check if there are polyps inside the lining of the womb or submucous fibroids, because they could potentially prevent implantation. So by the time we check that and it is there, then we make a diagnosis and we treat before IVF. It gives you an increased chance of success. Another thing to check for is if there is fluid in the tubes, in the fallopian tubes, because if there are tubes in the fallopian tubes, it will prevent implantation. Imagine putting an egg inside the womb and then there's water in the womb, because the fluid from the womb will enter the uterine cavity. That's where the baby is supposed to lie. Then imagine that there's fluid there, there's water there, and you put an egg inside. It will just swim and fall off. So it can prevent it. So by the time we make this diagnosis, we will treat before we do the IVF. Then another way to check is hysteroscopy. Now hysteroscopy is just putting a tube, it's like a slim tube that has light at the end, we pass it through the vagina into the uterus to check for chronic endometritis or any other thing that we can diagnose that can potentially prevent implantation. And by the time we diagnose and treat all of these things, it increases your chances of IVF success. We can't talk about success of IVF without talking about sperm health. Sperm plays a major role in implantation as well. So we'll do what we call a semen analysis. In the semen analysis, we are checking for the amount of sperm cells, the motility, how fast does the sperm move? Does it move fast? And then the shape of the sperm cell, is it abnormal? So if everything is fine, then we just go ahead and do the conventional IVF. But if there's a problem with the amount of sperm cells, how fast the sperm moves, or the shape of the sperm, then we do something called ICSI, ICSI. Now ICSI is just basically taking each sperm cell and putting it inside an egg to fertilize. Unlike the conventional IVF where we are allowing the sperm cell to naturally select the egg. So by the time you do an ICSI, it increases chances of fertilization. If you have high blood pressure, make sure that the blood pressure is controlled. If you don't have high blood pressure but you have a family history of high blood pressure, make sure that you check your blood pressure often, because we need a controlled blood pressure. Some of the IVF medications can increase blood pressure. I hope you found this video useful. If you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to leave a comment and share this video. See you next week.